Meal prepping nutrient-dense food to fill my fridge for the week is probably the most important thing I do for my health. It makes sure I have nutrient-dense food on hand so that I'm not skipping meals or eating out. It's been so important for my blood sugar and my gut health and has helped me heal my hormones. Here's my secret. I don't batch cook large dishes because I will get bored and I will waste food. Instead, I make a bunch of different quality proteins, some healthy carbs, and cook some veggies to have on hand. So let me show you everything that I prep for a week of nutrient-dense eating. I'm gonna stock up on bone broth, make a big brisket, and make some eggs to have quality protein on hand. Then I'll prep a big batch of carrot salad and some beets to have in the fridge. And for healthy carbs, I love a potato salad and my nutrient-rich bone broth rice. Let's go make it. Every week, I like to start by restocking my bone broth supply. It's so important for me to have this in my fridge. I drink it in the morning, I use it to make rice and cook my meats, turn it into soup. I have bone broth pretty much every day. So I cook it up and strain it into glass jars, let it cool, and then keep it in the fridge. I have posted a few recipes, but let me know if you want a full tutorial. This is my liquid gold, people. For my next protein, I'm gonna cook up a brisket. I like to cook up a big piece of meat that I can just have in the fridge ready to go. I'm gonna add in some mushrooms and some garlic and some onion, and I start by seasoning the meat generously with sea salt. Then I'm gonna brown it in a hot pan for a good 5 minutes on each side to get a good sear. While that cooks, I'll cut up my garlic and my onion, smash the garlic, take off the outside layer, and then mince it up. I'll cut my onion in half because I'm only using half, and for this recipe, I like to thinly slice it. Once the meat has a nice sear on both sides, I'm going to take the meat from the pan and add in the onion and garlic and let it saute until it's nice and cooked down and fragrant. While those cook, I'll slice up my shiitake mushrooms into thin slices. And once the onion and garlic are nice and fragrant and cooked down, I'll add the shiitakes into the pan and let those cook. Seasoning with sea salt as I go, of course. And then I'll add in about a little bit over a cup of bone broth to deglaze the pan, scraping up the brown bits from the pan. And finally, I'll put the meat back into the pan, put a top on it, and cook it at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 to 4 hours until it's nice and fork tender. Then I'll shred it up, add it to a glass container, and let it cool before storing it in the fridge. Okay, my next protein is super easy to have in the fridge. It's boiled eggs, and I love to have these on hand so that I can easily add 6 grams of quality protein to any meal or have a quick breakfast. So just add your eggs to boiling water and cook based on how you like your yolks. 7 minutes will give you a softer yolk, and 10 minutes will be fully hard-boiled. Then put them in an ice bath, and when you're done, just store them in the fridge. Now moving on to veggies, I'm going to start with a delicious carrot salad. This is a great veggie to make ahead because it holds up well to its dressing and it has some hormone balancing properties. So I start by making the dressing with some Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar, and extra virgin olive oil and a pinch of sea salt right in the glass container. Then I will use a vegetable peeler to shave the carrots directly into that container. I also like to add any fresh herbs I have on hand like dill, parsley, or cilantro. Put the top on, shake it all up so that it's all mixed up, and store it in the fridge. Another easy veggie to have in the fridge to add to any meal is cooked beets. And I add these to the pressure cooker without the stems with a cup of water and cook on high for 25 to 30 minutes. When they're done cooking, they're fork tender, and I add them to an ice bath, which makes it very easy to peel off the skin. Then I'll simply chop them up, store them in a glass container in the fridge, and I'll just add them to any meal as a side. You can toss them in a salad. They're a great way to add some veggies into your meals. Now we're moving on to some healthy carbs to have in the fridge ready to go. I like to make a large batch of bone broth rice. I start by soaking white rice in water and apple cider vinegar for 6 to 12 hours. Then I'll cook it in 2 cups of bone broth. It comes out as the most delicious, fluffy, flavorful rice with some added nutrients from the bone broth. Plus, I love to prep starches ahead of time so that I can cool them and increase their resistant starch, which helps our gut and makes it even easier on our blood sugar. Finally, let's prep one last healthy carb to have in the fridge. This is a potato salad, and I start by peeling and chopping my potatoes into cubes. Put them in a pot and cover with water, and bring that to a boil and cook them until they're tender, about 7 minutes. While those cook, I'll chop up anything I want to add in, like garlic, onions, bell peppers. I add some capers. You can add anything you have in the fridge or in your pantry. Add that to a large bowl where I'll make another simple dressing with mustard, apple cider vinegar, and extra virgin olive oil. Mix that all together, then add in the cooked potatoes and toss to combine. Just like the rice, the best part about meal prepping potato salad is that it actually develops that resistant starch after it's cooled. So once again, it's going to feed your good gut bugs and is better for your blood sugar response. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe so that I can show you more of my weekly nutrient-dense meal planning. Now I must go eat some brisket.